Hello, it's Monica Dubay with Heal Your Mind, Heal Your Life Transformation Program. And today I'm doing lesson 48 of A Course in Miracles, and it's a really short lesson. It's only 3 paragraphs. So, but it's really critical, it's really important, and the reason is, it states a really important fact, and that is that there is nothing to fear. Okay, so it says it that way. The idea for today simply states a fact. And it's not a fact to those who believe in illusions, but illusions are not facts. In truth, there is nothing to fear. It is very easy to recognize this, but it is very difficult to recognize for those who want illusions to be true. So all of your fear is illusory, and I know some people really don't like to hear that, but what for me that gave me was a sense of true understanding that I don't have to wallow around in my fear, I don't have to give it a lot of energy, I don't have to pay that much attention to it. And in fact, when it does come up, the most important thing to do is to just recognize, oh, it's a fear thought, and I don't have to be afraid. I really don't have to be afraid. It takes some energy and time to recognize that the mind is always trying to get you to believe in fear and to give it energy and to let it overtake your consciousness. And a lot of people live in fear a lot. I did for many years until I did the mind training of the Course, and that's what made me realize that everything had to do with me and my own mind and what I was thinking. So this lesson does this for us. Today's practice periods will be very short, very simple, and very frequent. Merely state the idea as often as possible. You can use it with your eyes open at any time or in any situation that you find yourself in. It is strongly recommended, however, that you take a minute or so whenever possible to close your eyes and repeat the idea slowly to yourself several times. There's nothing to fear. There's nothing to fear. There's nothing to fear. So why does that help you? In my mind, it helps you just because it reminds you what's true. Okay, because the mind that's asleep doesn't know that it's true, but the mind that's awake, which is also in you, does know it's true. And the reminder helps us to focus on what's real instead of what's not real. Okay? There's always a solution to every problem you can conceive of, because that solution is already given you. It's already what your mind is. You're in the mind of God. The mind of God has no fear. The mind of God is created in perfect harmony, order, love, and oneness. And so you don't have to, think your fear has any real significance or meaning or importance. It does direct you to places where you need to perhaps, ask for help and ask for a healing. And that's basically the only use it seems to have in my mind, is when I have fear come up, I need to write down what I'm afraid of and then look at it and go, is that really true? Most of the time it's not true. It's just something I'm projecting onto the future. And I'm thinking, oh, I can't, blah, 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 I'm afraid this, or I'm afraid that. And I would have to say, when I did the 12-step program, it was not because I was addicted to a substance, but because I was addicted to fear. I was addicted to listening to that voice that was always fearful. And so it made me really anxious. And it made me depressed, because I didn't know how to stop doing that. And truly, these lessons are what brought me out of that horrible depression and horrible anxiety when I was 30 years old, and I'm in my 50s now. So there's a period of my life where I really dedicated my entire life to this course, and actually all of it. But there was a period where I really surrendered my life to the course itself, or the universal course of recognition of self-realization. So I know that this works because I really put it to the test, and I really found that I had to truly surrender myself to the love of God in order to be completely lifted out of the fear that I was, going around in my mind forever. And we can all do that at any given time. Any moment you decide, I've had enough of this, and all help comes to your aid. So I want you to know that if you're afraid of something, if you're constantly worrying about something, it's just a habit. You've got to just recognize that you don't want that anymore, and you've got to ask for help. Do the lesson. Do this. There's nothing to fear. There's nothing to fear. I have everything I need. I am whole and perfect as God created me. And I'm thinking these thoughts with the mind of God, which has a whole benevolent purpose to my life. And I have to just get out of the way. If I can get out of the way, then my life could become this incredible vehicle for transformation and light, and that's what it is anyway. But I'm truly, truly wanting you to know that you don't have to give energy to your fear. Really. Here's another idea that goes with it. It is particularly important that you use the idea immediately should anything disturb your peace of mind. I mean, a lot of us go through life always disturbed. We don't need to anymore, okay? The presence of fear is a sure sign that you're trusting in your own strength. This is what we did, I think it was yesterday, right? If you're trusting in your own strength, of course you're apprehensive, anxious, and fearful. You're not realizing that within you is the mind of God, and you don't have to keep trusting in just your own separate mind to figure things out. Your mind doesn't figure things out anyway. It always just causes more problems. One problem in the ego's mind is all problems. You know, it doesn't have a solution to any problem because it doesn't know what it is. It doesn't know who it is. It doesn't know that you're a whole being of light that God created. It doesn't believe that about you at all. It's telling you lies about yourself constantly. It is a liar from the beginning. That's what Jesus said. And it's really true. In the New Testament, he really says, don't trust that voice. It's been a liar from the beginning. Right? Get thee behind me. This is not true. You can't fool me. I get it. You're trying to trip me up and make me afraid of nothing, of absolutely nothing. Nothing can harm me. Okay, except my own mind. So the presence of fear is a sure sign that you're trusting in your own strength. The awareness that there's nothing to fear shows that somewhere in your mind, and not necessarily in a place which you recognize as yet, you have remembered God and let his strength take the place of yours. That's it. Let his strength take the place of yours. Surrender. Surrender your own strength. The instant you're willing to do this, there is indeed nothing to fear. And you can afford to laugh. Just laugh at your fear. It's all made up. It's all pure imagination. You're projecting it into the future, thinking that, the future could be this terrible thing. Or you're remembering something that happened in the past that you haven't released or let go of. And that's all just the work that you got to do to be free, right? You got to take that inventory. You got to write down all your resentments and go through the steps of forgiving all these people that you think hurt you, okay? That's work. Without doing that work, you're never going to really free your mind. Not entirely. In my experience, when I did the 12 steps, I just realized that I was grievous and I wanted to kill someone. And I needed help because I was so murderous. I was so upset about what had happened. And it was a very personal experience that involved my children. And I realized that, all that hatred and it really was self-hatred when it came down to it. I was projecting it, but it was something that I couldn't accept about myself. So the work gets deep. We have to really honor it. When you go deep enough, you're going to undo those thoughts that you've been harboring for all your life, and none of them are going to really keep you in that pain if you decide you want to be free. So there is nothing to fear. Usually what we're most afraid of is the love of God. I mean, that's the last obstacle to peace, is we're actually afraid of the fact that we are complete, healed, whole, perfect, and loving beings. Because we forgot. And we forgot to laugh that we forgot. And now we're remembering that it really is just up to you to choose what you want to experience in any given moment. And if you know that you have the power of your mind to choose between fear and love, why wouldn't you always choose love? Why wouldn't you just decide, okay, I've had enough of the fear. I really want to experience myself as whole, as perfect, and as a loving being. And I mean really loving all aspects of you. Loving all aspects, even the dark side, even the shadow side that you don't love. You're going to learn to love that too, because that is an aspect of you that showed you what you're not. It still served you to make that up. and it is all made up. But don't judge yourself for that. Don't judge yourself for any of this, if you can help it. I know it's hard to stop judging, but when you recognize that judgment is only hurting you, it's only like stabbing you in the heart, for something that's already long gone, then you'll stop. You'll really stop. I hope you'll stop. I know I did. And I really wanted to, because I couldn't stand the pain of my own pain. My own fear thoughts. Thank you. I hope this helps you today. If you want to know more, you can go to my website, healyourmindhealyourlife.com. I do lots of wonderful classes and coaching with people. Money blocks class, sabotaging beliefs class. That's all available there too. Okay, we have 2 more lessons to go, and then we're done with the first 50 lessons of A Course in Miracles. I'm so glad you joined me. Please comment and share so that we can all free our minds from fear together. Thank you so much. Bye now.